Okay, nice. I think the microphone should work now and you should be able to hear me. So welcome to my first live stream over here on this YouTube channel on the Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. I just got a new rig to play this simulator. I was on X-Plane for many years since I only had a MacBook, but I thought, yeah, let's give Microsoft a go, and I'm really happy with the results. It's a stunning simulator, stunning graphics, and by now it runs quite flawlessly for me, despite the very buggy start. But yeah, let's see what the updates in the next weeks bring. And yeah, today, kind of a different flight. I don't think there was ever anything like this in real life, but we have this nice United Airlines A320 in the old battleship gray livery, and we are at Renton in Washington, which is Boeing territory, as you can see. A really nice scenery. I'll link it below after the stream. I can really recommend it, and you can see all the fuselages and halfly finished Boeing 737 planes, all the Maxes over here, and has a really nice charm. And apart from that, we are not too heavily loaded, but we'll have a weight of 58 tons, so it should be interesting to get out of this 1,600-meter runway over here on our flight to Boise. Nice, interesting weather, some clouds as I like it. I turned on real weather here over in the States. And yeah, I hope that you discuss my lovely German accent here, but I thought streaming in English is a bit better to reach all of you guys. So yeah, let's hop into the flight deck and prepare the flight. As a panel state, I chose the one which has the APU already running, but I don't think it makes sense before boarding the passengers. So let's quickly connect the GPU over here, get it juiced up, and we'll start the APU later once we have boarded the passengers and are ready to taxi out. No pushback today, so just starting our engines and give it a go. So yeah, let's go. Start with getting our flight plan into the EFB. This looks fine. What I prepared in SimBrief already, and let's start with setting the altimeters here. So, quite a high air pressure, 3051. Still set to the European standard, so I hope you don't mind, but I know usually you'd calculate in pounds over here in the US, but I still got it in kilograms as I'm used to that flying over in Europe. 3051 is set, perfect. So let's hop into the FMS very quick. Nav database is current, which is really nice. Engines look correct. We have IAE engines. I just love the sound and really look forward to this takeoff today. So, init page. Let's load it up. Since we're not flying online, flight number over here is not really important, but let's just choose what we had over in SimBrief to Echo Romeo. Good. So, United Airlines 2 Echo Romeo it is. Oh, typo. I had it before in my scratchpad, so cost index 5. SimBrief was fine with that. Maybe we'll fly a bit faster and increase it a bit in cruise, but not that important. We don't have any managers at home who monitor our fuel burn, so this is fine. 370 as a cruising altitude. As I said, not that heavy today. And it's a bit on the colder side. Getting our winds nice and handy over in the Fenix sim. Let's wait for that. Good, it's uplinked, and we'll take off on runway 16. As I said, quite short, 1,640 meters, but we should be able to get out of here with flap 2, maybe, or flap 3. Let's see what the EFB calculates later on for us. We take no sit today. Traffic is not a factor as we are not flying online today, so it's okay. We go direct to Tauma. Insert. And now to Boise. What do we expect? We expect 10 right and the KRNT-4 arrival. So Ilis Yankee 10 right and KRNT-4. So now to check that the route in the FMS makes sense, we go into the plan page, look over here, and see if we have a nice route. This looks really good. Up to Jimmy, and then in real life you would probably get radar vectors to be vector to the final approach, but as we don't have any ATC today, we'll just probably enter direct later on, or just fly with heading and then onto the ILS. But yeah, let's take care of the takeoff first. In a B, we're not boarded yet, so let's do that really quick. Load the aircraft. For speed's sake today, I will not use GSX refueling and boarding, as it takes a bit too long and I'm quite hungry, and the stream shouldn't get too long today. So I promise I'll do it in the next one, because the visuals of GSX are just gorgeous, with the stairs being attached, with the different placards of the different airports and providers for ground handling, with the fueling truck, the people boarding. That's really nice, but nothing for today. So we're loaded. Planned and actual looks really good. We can send it to the McDo. This looks really fine. And for the performance calculation, nothing will change. Of course, there will not be any last minute changes or something in terms of center of gravity, etc. So we can use this number safely to go to our takeoff preparation now. We sync the final load sheet and the weather. Winter's almost calm, which is nice. High air pressure. So we calculated. And yeah, as I expected, we will do a flat tree takeoff as the runway is quite short. Flex 55, which is still reasonable. And of course, in the USA, it's a transition altitude of 180. So we entered in the McDo as well. This looks really nice. As we don't have any restrictions or controllers, I just set the cruising altitude over here, since there's no departure set into the FMS as well. We don't have any restrictions today, and we can go up all the way to 370 after departure, which is quite nice. So that was a quite quick preparation here. So we can already read the cockpit time. Sorry, I cannot speak anymore. We could also already dive into the cockpit preparation checklist. So, cockpit preparation, gear pins and covers. Removed fuel quantity. So let's open up the fuel page over here. 5,360 kilograms and balanced. It looks really good in the tanks. All is nicely balanced through the wing tanks. Nothing in the center tank today, as the flight is quite short. Seatbelts. Oh, should be on by now. Normally I refuel doing boarding, and then you would switch the seatbelts off in the case of a fire or evacuation. So seatbelts are on. Adiros. Nav, and everything looks good in here. And the barrel reference is set to 3051 inches, which matches with the current meter head ATIS. Yeah, still looks good. So, cockpit preparation checklist complete. Yeah. I should have turned off the APU because now I need it. So, let's wait for the APU to fire up. Then switch on our APU bleed so that we are able to start our engines, and of course turn off on the beacon before we do anything and start the engines and the fuel pumps. So let's wait for that. The APU flap should open soon and you should be able to hear it. And now the EGT is rising, as well as the blades which are spinning in the back. Let's look here. Really nice. Wow, what a nice detail. I never saw that before. You can even hear the flags waving in the wind, and yeah, As I said, I'm in Boeing territory now, and it's quite cheeky now that we have this Fenix 320 in front of a PMDG flag. I never saw it before, but then again, I just flew here once in preparation of the stream. So let's see if you should be fired up by now. Yes, it's at 100, it's avail. So, oh, sorry for that. Sorry for the mess over here. Get rid of the external power. And we can disconnect the GPU and, of course, the shocks and cones. Let's see if the parking brake is set. We don't want to just roll straight away without our engines running. Yeah, everything is set, so we can get rid of the shocks and cones. And off it is. So, beacon on. Fire up the fuel pumps, and now we read the before start checklist. Before start, parking brake is set. We just saw it. Takeoff speeds and thrust. So look over here first. 120, 122, 127, flex 55. And now we double check it with what was in the EFB. So it's 120, 122, 127 and flex 55. Windows doors closed and the beacon is on. Before start checklist complete. So we don't need a pushback. So I would kindly ask GSX to go away again. We don't need you today. So they're gone and we can actually start our engines. Very nice. So let's go. Engine mode selector, ignition start. And starting engine number 2. Some European airlines do 2 first. I don't think. I think United does 1 first. I'm not quite sure. Yeah, let's just go with number 2 as I'm used to. Okay, nothing happens. Oh, sorry for that. This was my TSA quadrant misaligned, so the fuel switches were still on. So, starting engine number 2, let's go. Fire it up. Monitor the instruments, but as it's not very hot today and there was no preceding flight, the engines are still cold. We shouldn't have any trouble to get the engines running in a really quick time. Oil pressure is rising. Now as fuel is introduced to the engine, so you can see the exhaust temperature is rising as well. And one is rising, so the blades are spinning. So everything looks fine. Maybe we can watch it from the outside as well.
Behind you.
Oh, this is not the outside. This is the inside.
In an emergency.
I'm still not 100% used to the Microsoft Flight Simulator controls. I'm sorry for that. But now it should work.
Whenever the seatbelt signs are on.
So let's go back into the flight deck. I don't know why it's stuttering so much now. Maybe it's due to frame generation. Anyway, let's start engine number 1. Frames should look good. I'm at 35 frames right now. 72. I don't know where the stuttering and flickering comes from. I'm really sorry for that. Maybe I will look into the settings. Let's turn frame gen off again, real quick. See if it makes it better. Yeah, a bit, sort of. Yeah, we have a bit less frames right now. But as long as we don't have any flickering, I'm fine with that. We can start again. We can try again maybe after engine start. Yeah, as you can see, there are still lots of hiccups with the new flight simulator. So I hope you can pardon me for that. I hope that next week's updates make the experience a bit smoother. So the second engine is almost started. You can hear that it's available now. So engine mode selector. After start flow, arm the speed brakes, neutralize the rudder trim, and set the flaps all the way to 3 as we have calculated. Auto brakes to max, flight control page, and trim down to 0.2. Very nice. So I try frame gen again, as I really want to have a bit of a smoother experience, so let's try again. Yeah, now the hiccups are gone again. Really nice. So, after start checklist. After start, anti-ice off. I don't think we need it that early. The cloud ceiling is a bit higher, so that's still okay. Ecam status is normal. Pitch trim should be 30.6%, and that looks reasonable over here. Yeah, should be 30.3. 6, I mean, sorry, and rudder trim is neutral after start checklist complete, but I forgot something, the flight control check for that. So let's do it. Full up, full down, neutral, full left, full right, neutral, rudder, full left, full right, neutral. So in real life, the co-pilot would do the flight controls check for himself as well, but now we can see it from the other perspective, from the outside, which is really nice. I just love the Fenix A320. So back into the flight deck, and in theory, we are now ready for taxi. So as there's no controller, we don't need any clearance, so we can just do it. But we can prepare already for the taxi checklist, which is, along with the lineup checklist, the new Airbus before takeoff checklist, so to say. So, system 1, auto, looks good. Can already set the transponders, no traffic anyway, but hey. And takeoff config test. It's okay, the cabin is still doing its thing in the back. So we wait for the cabin to be ready before we read the checklist and we commence our taxi. Let's go to Boise. Idle thrust seems to be sufficient to get the aircraft moving, so a quick brake check. Everything fine with braking action. So just trying not to push the engines too high before they are warm. Wow, this is a very narrow taxiway. I don't know if we fit here, but hey, it's a simulator. We cannot break anything, so let's just go. Did I switch on the taxi lights? I forgot. No, I didn't. And I didn't turn off the APU. Oh man. What a good start. Yeah, the total A320 and X-Plane. You could push these buttons and the cabin would be automatically ready, which is nice sometimes, but I really like that the Fenix does it automatically at some point when you enter the runway. So, cabin crew, prepare for departure hopefully. I'm a bit quick. I think Airbus recommends not to go into any turn above 12 knots. So if anyone knows, oh, the cabin is ready, nice. If anyone knows how to make the braking a bit smoother without pedals, because I just have the thrust levers and the side stick, but no pedals, and I brake with my side stick with a button in the back. So maybe I can make it a bit less sensitive because it's really abrupt right now. So the cabin is ready. Let's read the taxi checklist. Flight controls checked. Flap setting 3. Radar predictive wind shear on and auto. Engine mode selector is normal. And EK memo takeoff no blue. And we can also already open the lineup checklist as we are really close to lineup. Let's go. I think we can do our turn right over here. Oh, and it's stuttering again. I don't know what's wrong with frame generation right now. I'm really sorry for that. So let's quickly leave the runway and set the parking brake, and then I think I will turn off frame gen and turn on lossless scaling. I think it's a better solution for now until I permanently fix it. So, quick brake. Settings. Turn off frame gen. lossless scaling. Opened now. I think ×2 is sufficient. Yeah, it is. So let's resume. Hit our command. And now it should be smooth again. Yeah, looks very nice. So get rid of the parking brake again. And let's continue. So we turn off the packs for this takeoff. To be a bit easier off the engine and get some more juice out of them with higher flex temperature. Saves a bit of fuel. And why not make the virtual managers happy with us? Bit of an overshoot. So we assume that we are clear for takeoff on runway 16. So turn on all the lights. Lineup checklist. Takeoff runway 16. TCAS. Tara, we did it during before the taxi, and packs 1 and 2 off. Lineup checklist complete. Get the clocks running. And take off. On the IAE, you would look for 1.050 EPR to stabilize before you set the takeoff thrust. Okay, stable. Just hit the chrono button. Oh, it's a bit hard to do with just one hand free. Release the brakes and Manflex 55 SRS. Auto thrust blue. And I love this sound. Press the set. 80. Slowly release it to neutral by 100 knots checked. V1. Rotate. Positive climb. Gear up. Nav. What a beautiful scenery and surrounding. And everything is streaming quite fine, which is not always the case. So here we go. Nice rate of climb, even with flap 3, causing lots of resistance and a usually slower climb rate than with flap 1. 1000. Thrust climb. Climb, alt blue, auto thrust. Climb plus the set. Turn on the first pack. And wait for 10 seconds to turn on the next. Flaps 1. Speed is checked. Flaps 1. What a nice scenery. And we are entering humidity, so let's turn on the anti-ice. Nice and slowly climbing away. Accelerating to our S-speed when we will remove the flaps. Flaps 0, speed is checked. Flaps 0. So now it's time to disarm the spoilers. Get rid of the turn-off light and the taxi light. Nah, is it turned off? Yeah, perfect. And just smoothly continuing our departure. We are above the green dot speed. Nicely accelerating. What a nice view. Wow, I can actually see that there's a viewer. Oh, pack 2 is still off. Sorry for that, I forgot that. Too much talking. I should concentrate more. So, there's even a viewer in my stream. My first viewer of my first live stream, so welcome. If you want to, just write some greetings in the chat. Would like to know who you are. Almost reached 250. And usually 250 we have a nice 10 degree of pitch. But we'll wait with turning off the seatbelt signs until we are above 10k feet. And with a pitch of lower than, I think, 7.5 degrees. So that in the back nobody complains that it's too steep to walk around. think I'll hand fly this bird until 10k feet and accelerating, even though it's a rather boring departure, which is just straight on to Tacoma. No curves to fly or anything like that, but hey, still fun to fly the bus by hand. That's what the simulator is for, right? $8,000. Oh, what a nice outside view. I don't know about you, but I really, really adore this Battleship library. I hope that United brings it back at some point, maybe as a special retro paint or something like that. And there was even a rainbow back here. Man, this sim is full of details, I love it. So, closing to 10k. So gently push down the nose to accelerate for a further climb. I'll wait with the seatbelt until I engage the autopilot, so it will be a bit smoother in the back. I think we can turn off the anti-ice. We are out of the clouds. Yeah, looks good. Closing in on the speed and gently pull up the nose again. So, autopilot 1. Releasing the passengers and the crew. Now we can sit back and relax on our way to Idaho. You can see another long flight. Still pretty long until we reach 370, and shortly thereafter we commence our descent towards Boise. Yeah, just enjoy the panorama. Looks really nice, especially the mountains over here. And look at that wing flex. That's really cool. I really love the details that the Fenix put into this A320. It gets really close to the real deal, and I'm sure with the VR glasses or something like that, it would feel like an actual passenger already. Yeah, unfortunately, this livery didn't come with the original safety cards or details like that, unlike other liveries, but still, from the outside, it looks epic. So, let's go back into the flight deck and enjoy the scenery. Wow, look at that. Let's turn on the terrain display. I'm not quite firm geographically in the United States sometimes, but isn't this Mount Olympia? Looks epic. Wow, what a panorama. So the graphics of Microsoft Flight Sim never fail to amaze. Really excited to see what's possible in the upcoming months or even years when it slowly gets updated and all the bugs are sorted out, but you can see the potential of the sim. And even though I've turned down the LOD a bit to 100, it still looks gorgeous. Nice. There's another mountain in the back. I'm not sure which one it is. Maybe I could look it up in Navigraph. I have it open on my iPad because I would like to show you the maps over here, but they take ages to load and then everything stutters, so I keep it on the iPad. Altimeter standard, passing 183 now. Good afternoon, Nicholas. Thank you for being my first viewer. Really nice to have you here. Nice to have you tuned in. I hope that you stay tuned for my future streams. It's my very first try. It's still really unprofessional. I don't even have a microphone yet. I'm streaming through my AirPods, so excuse me for the rather bad sound quality of my voice. Um, yeah, if this takes off a bit, hopefully, I'll promise to invest in a slightly better microphone or headset so that you guys can hear me a bit more better and more clearly. I'll be back in a second with you. So, I'm back with you again. You want a name? Nicholas wants a name for his domestic plane model airport in my bedroom, please, for me. So, maybe Sleep International or Sleep Intercontinental, or how are the IKEA beds called? Maybe the the Billy Regional Airport. Some names. I don't know. Where are you from? What is your country? Maybe we can come up with a better name then. As you can see, the air is getting a bit rough right now. Some clear air turbulences. So maybe it's better to get the passengers buckled up again for a second so that they don't spill anything. Seatbelts on. 9,000 feet to go. 9,000, sorry. 280. And going for 370. Let's look at our progress page, because SimBrief sometimes does mix up the optimal altitude for fuel burn. Optimum would be 360, and since the flight is very short, I think we can keep it 350. It doesn't make a big difference. We still have 4 tons on board, so the fuel penalty will not be so harsh. We will not have any overweight landing. We have a gross weight of 62.3 tons right now. So this is still far above, below the maximum landing weight of the A320. So everything is fine here. Could already prepare our approach into 10 right at Boise maybe a bit. So let's go. Open it up. Let's look at the ATIS first. Or the METAR. Wow, boring winds. It's wind still. No winds at all. So no exciting approach, but maybe we can do a raw data approach. So turning off the flight directors, etc. to make it a bit more interesting. No winds, but low visibility, kind of. So yeah, talking about raw data. Overcast at 200 feet. -1 degrees. And 30, 45 on the altimeters. Okay. So, how much fuel will we have on board? 3.1, the computer says, so just roughly subtract a ton from our gross weight, so landing weight will be somewhere around 61.2 tons. Let's enter it. So, flap full and low auto brakes, still plenty of room in the runway. We need 2,000 meters to stop, with reverse thrust not taken into account. Let's see for flap 3. Still okay, because I like to approach with flap 3. Let's do a flap 3 landing. It's a bit early to already enter everything, but let's get prepared. If the METAR changes, we can still cross-check it. So, approach phase 30-45. No winds. Config 3. Don't forget the push button, otherwise the computer will get excited and scream at me. I don't want that. And let's open up Navigraph, even though it lags. Simulator flight plan detected. I want to load it. Is it the one we are flying? Yeah, really nice. Got our position here, but that's not the flight plan we have from SimBrief. So let's unload it, import a new flight, and yeah, this one looks right. Very nice. We have all our waypoints in here. And let's look at the approach charts for 10 right. 30 approaches available, but I just need one. So, we had the ILS Yankee, so we added to the route. So, let's look over here. Altitude 3036. Some high terrain on the left of the field, but the missed approach will send you to KRNT to the right, so that's okay. So what do after a go around? We climb to 3,300 feet and then a right turn to 7,300 feet outbound on Boise VOR on a radial 113. You can see it right here, outbound 113, direct to KRNT. and then you would hold. But as we don't have any ATC, we would just probably go back with a right turn back to Jimmy and then join the final again. Not to the left, as we have some high terrain over there, and with just 7,300 foot of altitude, we would be dangerously close to the peak here, which is at 6,522 feet. So we would of course like to avoid that. So we remember the go around altitude of 7,300 feet for later on. When we are on final, we set it over here in the FCU. And apart from that, nothing really special over here. So close it again. Remember to double check the meter when we are getting closer to our point of descent, top of descent. And then it should be a pretty unspectacular approach for you guys. Let's enjoy the scenery and the landscape over here. Still looking really, really nice. Past the mountains to the left. And not a lot of flight time left. So, engines look fine. Bleed system looks fine as well. Pressure looks fine. Hydraulics look fine. Fuel is still balanced. APU is off, of course. Air conditioning, that's maybe interesting because the cockpit is quite warm as well as the cabin. Yeah, people in the back are suffering and the people in the front as well, so let's turn it a bit colder so that our poor virtual passengers do not break out in any sweat. And as you can see here now, it's nicely modeled. Cool air is introduced now into the flight deck as well as into the cabin, and it should get a bit colder really soon. Doors, no surprises here, all doors are still attached, unlike some other airplanes probably. Cold brakes, it's the first flight of this aircraft in the day, so we would have expected it, just 40 centigrades. Flight controls look good, everything nicely. No need for a fuel check, as everything looks really normal and expected. 222 miles to go. You know what? Let's fly a bit faster. We can go up all the way to 8.1 if we want to, but let's choose 8.0. As the weather at the destination doesn't look really spectacular or dangerous or challenging at all, I don't think. We'd go around more than once at maximum, so it's okay to burn a bit of more fuel, maybe if it's 100 kilos or more. Maybe let's take a stroll through the cabin, which is a bit empty. I think there is a setting in GSX where you can actually see the passengers being seated. I have to look it up because I forgot how to turn it on, since I'm just using it for a few days now. I can always see them boarding, but once they sit down, they magically disappear. So I have to look into this in the next stream. So I've never been into the aft galley before on the Fenix A320, so let's have a look how it's modeled. So nice coffee for the tired passengers. Even a nice can here. All the trolleys are stowed safely. No surprises here. Oh nice, the bullseye. Let's have a look. As a passenger, I always like to have a look through here. So nicely modeled, so many details. So cool. Can you open the doors to the toilet? I don't really know. No smoking in lavatory. No, there's no lever for this. Maybe in the front? Let's have a look. Let's step out of the flight deck real quick. There should be another toilet here. No. So, the Fenix A320 is really deeply simulated with lots of attention to detail, but as far as I can see, the lavatories are not accessible. Yeah, maybe a bit of an overkill, but I almost expected it, as every cable in the wheel well is modeled, and even this Easter egg right here, which is a hint to a scandal that FS labs had back then, because they would detect if you had cracked software and install a virus on your computer. And this program was called TestExe, and this is a really nice Easter egg that Fenix implemented it right here. You have to watch a bit, but yeah, it's over here, right behind this ledge. So what else has the Fenix to offer? I mean, they even introduced simulated the movement of the seats and the sounds. That's so gorgeous. It sounds just like the real thing. So cool. So cool. So maybe VFO is a bit shorter. So we put it all the way to the front here and put the armrest up. Close the door again, or the FAA will get a bit angry with us. Ha! Even the jump seat is movable. How nice is that? Can you put down the seat? No, you can just move it in this direction, back and forth, but I don't think you can open this one right here. So yeah, no jump seater today. All the circuit breakers are modeled, and I think you can even pull most of them, or some of them at least. You have gloves, the headset for the jump seat passenger, oxygen masks. Wow, this is so cool. Can you test them? Yes, you can. Yeah, of course I should have done it in the cockpit preparation, but we saved some time today. Okay, we cannot open the waste bin. What else? I think you can even disconnect the cable and then the battery would drain eventually. Full of details, so nice. You can open the windows, but I wouldn't do it in flight, of course. It's not even possible, but I wouldn't try. So yeah, top of descent is quite close, as you can see. And as we have compared with in the charts already, let's fire them up again. Dismiss. We want to open the approach charts. You can see the terrain over here, and it's nicely displayed on the ND as well. Unfortunately, due to limitation on Microsoft's side, there's no weather radar implemented in this bird, which is a shame, because I think the weather engine is closed due to licensing reasons from Microsoft's side and their weather supplier, so third-party aircraft cannot properly access the weather system, and that's the reason why the weather radar is not simulated in this Fenix bird, which is a shame, especially in bad weather, because sometimes I would like to know if I fly into really nasty stuff, but for so long we have to rely on visual sources, or if it gets too shaky, try to avoid the really nasty stuff. So the approach is entered already. Minimum looks fine. I think the weather is unchanged by now, but let's, to be sure, just compare it again. Oh no, the air pressure sank a bit, and a bit of wind now makes it maybe at least a bit more interesting. So 310 at 4:30:44 on the altimeters, and I don't think that this wind will be a big factor in our landing calculation, but just for completeness sake. Oh, it doesn't refresh meter. Ah, sorry. Apply meter. Ah. Now we have a bit less room to brake, but I think flap 3 and low brakes will be sufficient anyway. But we could look where our terminal is if we want to brake a bit earlier, and maybe I'll enter flap full then. So this is our landing runway, turn right, and obviously we would like to go to the terminal, and okay, then it would make sense to leave the runway, not all the way in the back at Charlie, but somewhere around Echo, so I might reconsider it. Let's see, flap full, and medium auto brake could be a bit of an overkill. I'll just go for flap full and then some manual braking at the end. I think if our reverses are operative, it shouldn't be a problem to get the Echo exit. So, auto brake low it is. We do a flap full landing, so let's get rid of this again. Traffic full, final approach speed, just not much of a difference, 3 knots less. Yeah, so okay, so as far as the approach is concerned, we are good to go, and nothing special to be briefed here, I think. So, red nav. I think it makes sense to tune in the Boise VOR. I think it is tuned automatically, but just enter it here, and one 113. Yeah, looks good. Missed approach was briefed already, so in case of a missed approach we go to 73,000 and fly to Boise VOR, and then after reaching 3,300 feet we turn to the right on a 113 radial away from Boise and go to Kenneck, and then try again with a right turn, not to the left because of the mountains. So as I can see, I have another viewer tuned in, my second one today in my first stream, so welcome to my live stream. I hope that you find it at least a bit interesting to watch me screwing up the landing in Boise. So yeah, sit back, relax, enjoy, and feel free to enter something in the chat so that I know who you are. Closing the charts again, and top of descent is quite near. We almost missed this because I talk too much, as always. Maybe look at the chart again. To what altitude they want us to sink. It's not that bad if we miss the point of descent a bit. We just increase the speed and descend a bit faster then. So, let's look at the arrival. KRNT, they want us to descend to 16,000 at Davli, then 10,000 at Mailer, and then KRNT 8,000. But as we don't have any real restrictions here, and the terrain is not spectacular here. Yeah, it's 8.8 here. Let's put 16,000 first, and then let's clear off the terrain onwards to 8,000. So, 16,000. Speed managed. Speed, descent, code 160 is blue. Passengers are still buckled up from the turbulences back then. I forgot to release them again. The poor guys, I don't think they have to pee too much right now. They can do it in the terminal. No peeing on board of this United flight anymore. Sorry. nice terrain over here. Nice and snowy. As you can see, it's winter and I'm flying with real weather. The real timings right now. Ah, look at that, how gorgeous is this? Yeah, but no watching anymore, concentrate on the approach. Okay. MacDo is screaming enter destination date, huh? But... Ah! We forgot to enter the temperature. My bad. So, temperature is 0 degrees centigrade. Apart from that, everything is prepared, everything is fine. We can shoot the approach. How much is left? Look at the flight plan. So pilot flying has the perf page open and the flight plan page is open at the pilot monitoring. Just, yeah, 112 miles to go. And we still have a bit more fuel left than expected. 3.3 tons. Favorable winds from the back. 97 knots, which is really nice. So it was a quick and dirty flight. Now let's go direct to Deathly. We have a friendly controller today who gives us all the shortcuts. Speed, vertical speed. So you can see how now we are a bit lower than what the FMS thought we would be at. So we can go into manage descent again. And as you can see, we'll be back on the profile in approximately 7 miles. So, hope you're ready. I sure am. Unless, once we pass the transition altitude of 8,000, we'll set the altimeters to what was reported in the ATIS of the field. Ah, it's in hectopascals here, not in inches. Let's look over here. Refresh. And the wind slightly increased to 5 knots, but it will not be a factor now. We can leave it at that. Yeah, let's make it for completeness sake. No change in the speed. Altimeter is still the same. So nothing special here. So as I have to go soon, I'll increase the simulation rate a bit until we are a bit closer to the destination, so that I don't bore you now with all the slow and steady descending, so that we can dive into the action real quick. So definitely was 6,000, after that Mailer 10,000 and Kian 8,000, and then we joined the final. Yeah, it's quite nice that the new experimental feature of the latest update of the Fenix allows for a simulation rate increase of 4x instead of just 2x, which is quite handy for longer flights if you don't have that much time on hand. So, really cool to have this implemented. So, FMS wants more drag. I think it's picking up a bit with the fast simulation rate, but yeah, let's go on the speed brakes. Back on profile a tad fast, but of course it's really fast with the simulation rate right now, so just put it back to normal as we are closing into 160. And we set 100 for Mailer. let's see how the visibility is back at the field. Looks a bit better than forecasted, so maybe there's a good chance that we can do a raw data approach to make it a bit more interesting for you guys. And to really see me screwing up. So, set the altimeters, 344. No reason to pull the speed brakes, and we can even go a bit faster. There's no traffic here. We're still way above 10k, so just make it 300, not turn it up too aggressively. Yeah, I think 300 on speed is fine. So we could also already almost read the approach checklist. It's normally triggered when below 10,000 feet AAL and barometric reference set, or after a go around if you have to prepare the approach again. So let's go, as nothing much will change. Baro reference set 3044, seatbelts on, minimum is set to 3036, port brakes low, and engine mode selector is normal. Approach checklist complete. The next checklist will be the landing checklist when we are on final and fully configured for the approach. So, Jimmy, he wants us down to 6,000. Okay, gotcha. Set the perf page again. And back. Entering some clouds. And temperature-wise, could make sense to turn off the NTIs. Turn on the NTIs, sorry. I don't know why this livery has this implemented. Instead of the registration of the aircraft, it says Kilo Romeo November Tango, the ICAO code of Renton Airport, where we took off. And the SALCAL code is takeoff. This is strange. I don't know the reason behind this. But well, it doesn't change anything. Look at those puffy clouds. Slowly but steadily increasing. So they want us at 250 knots here. Then again, no controllers online, and there's no traffic, but let's just stick to it. Thrust idle. Aircraft is decelerating now, that's why we turn a bit high on the profile. But no reason to go hard on the speed brakes right now. Maybe a tad. $10,000. on. Get rid of the speed brakes again. We are nicely flying in the profile again. And not a lot of energy in the aircraft to get rid of. So we nicely decelerate now. Not too fast. That's okay. Speed limit exceeded. I hope I don't get any tip now. More drag. We can see the ground. Really nice. So, you know what? I think I'll disconnect now. So, manual, thrust. For some reason, I cannot hear the caution sound, but that's okay. And manual flight. My aircraft. Descent. Activate the approach phase. Getting our bird a bit slower. Still quite fast, but that's okay. We are 18 miles out, so lots of room to properly decelerate and configure the aircraft. And it's not an A321, so this shouldn't be too hard. Also, we are still way above, below the glide slope, so getting rid of our speed will be no problem at all. We can already arm the approach. I think the weather is a bit too bad for raw data, because I don't have any visual reference to the airport right now. So let's stick to our good old flight directives. And PFD brightness a bit down. It's still sometimes a bit strange and a bit too bright. I don't know if it's a bug. Accelerating to the green dot speed. Flaps 1. Speed is checked. Look star.
Cabin crew must now be seated for landing. Thank you.
Yeah, listen to what she says. Oh, captured the localizer already, which is really nice. And the glide slope should follow quite soon. Localizer. Three knots from the back, so a quite high ground speed as the airfield is quite high as well, so 220 on the ground speed. And for a normal 3 degrees glide slope, a nice rule of thumb for the correct descent rate is if you just divide the ground speed by 2 and just add a 0. So right now it makes sense to roughly descend with 1,100 feet per minute.
2,500.
Assuming you are correctly on the glide slope. Oh, third viewer! This is my record. So welcome to my very first Flight Simulator live stream. Loc Star. It's getting serious now, and as you can see, the air is a bit bumpy. But no problem for us. So 8.6 miles out. Let's go for flap 2. Flap 2, speed is checked, flaps 2. So, glide star, we can set the go-around altitude. You remember it was 7,300 feet. Okay, setting the FCU and flying at once. It's sometimes a bit difficult, but here you go. Go-around altitude is set. And we can see a runway. Really nice. There it is. So, a bit more quiet now to focus on the approach. 6 miles out. To save some fuel, I still wait with the gear until we are 5 miles out, or 5 miles. Let's go. Gear down. Gear down. Turn off the lights. We don't need anti-ice right now. It's okay. Flap 3.
1,000.
Speeds check flaps 3. Not forget to arm the speed brakes. Here we go. And flaps 4. Landing checklist. A.k.a. memo, landing no blue. Oh, that was a bit quicker. Usually we would go around now because we weren't stabilized at 1,000 feet. Something was wrong with the DME then. Because I was still over 5 miles out.
400.
Maybe I took too long with configuring the flaps, but that's okay.
100 above. 300.
Bit fast.
200.
Still okay.
Minimum.
Landing. It's
100.
10 low. Just focus on the pappies now.
30.
And not on the glide slope. It wasn't
40.
quite correct.
30. 20. Retard.
Oh, nice bounce. Spoilers, rear screen. Brake low decel. Will we make it to Echo? Yeah, just some manual braking and we will leave the runway at Echo. Good. Let's leave the runway. Start the timer. Of course, this will not be a long
Ladies and
taxi.
gentlemen, the cabin crew will shortly be leaving their seats.
But if you would have a longer taxi and want to taxi with a single engine, you would wait for the engines to cool down a bit and wait for 3 minutes until you shut down engine number 2 and turn on the electric pump. But this is not the case today because we'll have a quick taxi. There's no rush hour here, as you can see, and we can choose any gate of our liking. So, welcome to Boise. Fire up the APU so that it's on in time when we reach our gate. I still have to install this add-on where you could see your distance from the gate. Right now I have to refer on other references, but it's still okay. We can take our time as the APU still has to fire up a bit. Okay, now it's stuttering, sorry for that. Still I have to check my brake sensitivity as I have no pedals. Oh, that was a bit too early, what a shame, but idle thrust is enough to get us going. So, here we go. Set our lovely parking brakes. Is the APU fired up? Yeah, it's available already. Very nice. Everything according to plan. So we can shut down our engines. Nice. Turn off our beacon. Wait for a bit to get the passengers released here. Now. No external power yet, so we still rely on the APU. Now it's fired up. Nice. So we can turn off the APU. So I suppose the chocks are set as well. Yeah, everything is steady here. I wish it would be that quick in real life. All the ground crew is here. The finger is already connected. Really cool. So we have the chocks in place. So let's turn off the parking brake so that the brakes can cool down a bit more quickly. But oh yeah, quite hot. 155, 150. Yeah, since I braked quite aggressively after I wanted to reach taxiway Echo. So we can commence the deboarding. Does it happen automatically here? I don't know. Usually they ask me. But maybe since I didn't choose GSX for boarding, maybe it doesn't like me anymore and doesn't want to deboard as well. I don't know. Still have to learn a lot of things about Microsoft Flight Simulator, as I'm new over here, but we'll get there eventually together. Oh, and views are all over the place as well. Good. What is he doing here? He's clapping. He's in a good mood. Really nice. Hello, man. They look the same. Maybe they're twins. They even have the same outfit. What is he doing? Watching this truck right here. All branded in Southwest. But hey, this nicely concludes our flight to Boise. Yeah, very happy that you took part in my very first live stream. As I said, still a bit unprofessional. I have to work on my microphone quality and maybe a nice banner and some more nice descriptions. And yeah, as I saw some streamers have a nice banner here showing all flight information and some fancy stuff. So we were raw dogging it and just had the pure flight experience, but I hope you liked it. Yeah, as far as the landing goes, what I could have done better was to configure a bit earlier, since I a bit underestimated the high ground speed. So technically, we were unstable at 1,000 feet, but it was still okay. And the final approach, I relied a bit too much on the glide slope in my PFD instead of watching the puppies. That's why we ended up a bit low, but everything still nice and safe and a nice firm landing. I didn't flare for too long and not aggressive enough. So it was a nice positive landing. Some G's for the backs of the passengers. But apart from that, it was a nice approach, a scenic approach. A bit cloudy. I wish I could have seen a bit more of this beautiful scenery. But here we are. Let me know in the comments if you liked it. Always leave some feedback, positive, negative. I like to read everything. And yeah, let's see where the next stream goes. What destination lies ahead. Lots of nice European airports to try still. Lots of American airports, lots of liveries to see, and of course, apart from the A320, I also have the A321 and the A319 from Fenix. So lots of room to explore, and I look forward to the next add-ons being released for 24. For example, the PMDG 737 and the 777. So exciting times ahead with the A300 from Unibuild as well. All the Stocker Sobo planes. Yeah, can't wait for all the updates, and look at those beautiful dark clouds over there. Yeah, As you can see, this simulator doesn't fail to amaze me. It feels really good, and streaming typically works quite well now, even during peak times. So I can't wait for what's to come. So happy that you tuned in, and see you guys in the next streams. Cheers! Oh, wow, what a timing! The doors are closing now. So yeah, talk to you in the next one, and I hope you enjoyed my very first stream. Take care of you, and see you in the next one. Peace out.